Hi, so today we'll be covering 7 of the most popular standing yoga poses, and we'll really be breaking them down for beginners. It will be a full, complete practice that works the whole body in terms of flexibility, strength, and balance. Hi, I'm Irene, a yoga and mindfulness teacher, bringing you different yoga, mindfulness and breathing practices. If you like the video, do give it a thumbs up. It really makes all the difference. And if you're ready, why not get your mat out or perhaps a towel, and let's get started. So we're going to begin with a series of sun salutations to warm up the body, and then we'll progress further into those standing poses. So coming to the front of the mat, you can bring feet together or maybe hip distance apart. And just taking a moment to close the eyes and come to your breathing. So nice steady inhale and exhale through your nose. And then we'll start to slowly make our movements through those sun salutations. So use that next inhale to reach the arms up and over the head at the same time, if you like, looking up. Exhale, fold forward, slightly bend the knees if you need as you drop the head all the way down. On the inhale, open the chest halfway up, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, grounding the palms, stepping from here back towards your plank pose. And then you can lower slowly, knees, keep elbows close to the body as you lower chin and chest. Inhaling, coming forward towards your cobra pose. And exhaling from here, lifting hips up and back for your downward dog. In the downward dog, you can keep the heels slightly lifted, maybe knees bent if hamstrings feel tight. Coming back to your breathing again. And staying here for 3 more breaths. So as much as you can, keeping the spine straight and drawing the weight back into your legs. On your next inhale, we're going to step the feet forward to the front of the mat, opening the chest halfway up on that same inhale. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, arms come up and over the head as you gaze up. And exhale, lowering the arms back down either side. We'll do 2 more rounds. Again on the inhale, reaching the arms up and overhead, gazing up. Exhale, slowly folding forward. Again, bend the knees as much as you need. Inhaling, opening the chest halfway up. Exhale, ground the palms, stepping or hopping back to your plank pose. Again, you can slowly lower using the strength of the arms. Inhaling, coming forward to your cobra. And exhale, lift the hips up and back for that downward dog again. So you can see downward dog is a sort of training pose for these standing poses. So although the hands are on the ground, we're drawing as much weight as we can into the legs and gently stretching the back of the thighs. Staying here 2 more breaths. Keeping back of the neck long, gazing towards the back of your mat. And then stepping or hopping to the front of the mat as you open the chest halfway up on that inhale. Exhale, fold forward again over the legs. Now inhale, reach the arms up and overhead as you gaze up. And exhaling all the way back again to standing in this Samastiti pose. 1 more time, reach the arms high on the inhale, look up. Exhale, fold forward, maybe lean a little into the toes as you fold. Inhaling, opening the chest halfway up. Exhale, stepping again or hopping back, staying nice and strong in your plank, and then lower either with the knees, or you could lower chaturanga if you want to try it out. Inhaling, coming forward to your cobra or upward dog. And exhale, lift again the hips up and back for downward dog. Seeing if you can really spread the fingers wide, ground through that index finger and thumb. Keeping breath steady through your nose. Staying here one more breath. And then step or hop to the front on your inhale, open again, lengthen through the chest. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, arms come up as you gaze up. And exhale, lower the arms all the way back again down to your Samastiti. So the first pose that we're going to come to is the chair pose, also known in Sanskrit as Utkatasana. You can come to this pose either with the feet together or hip distance apart. I personally prefer the feet together because I find it's easier to engage my inner thighs that way. So just see what works for you and you can always play around with that. So once you've got that foundation in the feet, see if you can lean back into your heels and then bend your knees and start to send the weight of the hips back. So it's really, like the name of the pose says, as if you're sitting into this imaginary chair. From here, the belly stays firm, spine stays long as you start to reach the arms up and over the head. And now if you like, you can bring the palms together, but if that feels a bit squashed in the shoulders, keep the arms shoulder distance apart. Keep drawing the weight back into the heels and drawing the inner thighs super close. Gazing maybe up with the head if you like here. Staying for one more breath. And then inhale, straighten the legs and exhale, lower from here the arms down either side. So we're going to come now to the next pose, Uttanasana, standing forward bend. So here, again, feet can be together or slightly apart. My preference is slightly apart to give myself a little bit more space to fold forward. So just play a little bit around with that. You can first bring the hands to the hips, start to fold halfway forward and really find that forward fold from the front of the hips here. When you start to feel more of the stretch in the hamstring and it feels quite intense, you can slightly bend the knees a little and then allow the upper body to fold deeper. Now, if you're starting yoga, you're quite new and the hamstrings feel pretty tight, just bend the knees a little deeper so that you give yourself that space and relax the lower back. You could have the arms in front, maybe hold the opposite elbows as you let the head hang. If you're comfortable here, you might lean a little more into the toes. Relax the head and relax the neck. And if you like, you could just play a little bit here with swaying from side to side. We'll stay here folded forward for 2 more breaths. And then if you're rocking from side to side, come back to the middle, release the elbows and start to roll all the way back up. Knees can be a little bent here as you come all the way back up to standing again. So we're going to now move on to the Warrior One pose, quite a strong pose that starts to bring a lot of heat into the body. And you want to be again at the front of the mat. You can have your right foot facing towards the front and then take a really big step back with your left foot, so almost the whole mat width. And then you want your right toe facing forward and your left toe can be spinning a bit out to the side. So maybe thinking 10 o'clock shape with a clock. Hips are facing towards your right foot, so towards the front of the mat. Hands can first come towards your hips and then you start to bend into your right knee. Allow that right thigh to be super engaged whilst the left leg stays long and active and draws a little back. From here, we're going to use that next inhale to reach the arms up and over the head. And take a few couple of slow and steady breaths here. So there's a lot of engagement in the legs, but you can also really allow the belly to engage and lift up high through the fingertips. So you're creating energy, length, and space in that upper body. If you can, sink a little bit deeper into your right knee whilst you draw your left outer foot more down and back. Staying here one more breath. And then we're going to draw the weight into that right leg. See if you can step all the way forward. So we practice a little bit of the balance. And then we'll change immediately to the other side. So left foot is facing forward. Take a wide step back. Right foot can point out to the side. And then we bring the hands to the hips to just turn the hips as we face again front of the mat. If you need to adjust the position of your right foot, by the way, feel free to do so. You don't want to be twisting into your knees. Okay, bend into that left knee. Engage that left leg, and then on the inhale, start to reach the arms up and overhead. If it's comfortable, you could also gaze and look up here. Can you ground through your left big toe and the outside of your right foot? Softening these shoulders while you lift up high through the fingertips. And then we bring the weight back into the left leg. You slide the right foot towards the front and then coming back to the front of the mat. Next, we're going to come to the warrior two pose. So again, you can be at the front. I'm just going to face this way so that I can see you well. Right foot again stays at the front of the mat. And once more, like you did for the warrior one, you take a big step back with that left foot. This time though, the belly is going to face the long side of the mat. So feet are set up like they were for the warrior one, but we're twisted to the long side of the mat. You can once more first bring the hands to the hips, bend into your right knee and really find that opening from the hips as that left thigh draws away from the right knee. And then from here, you can start to bring the arms wide to the side. Now, the last thing that comes here in the warrior two is the gaze of the eyes to look at the right hand. Often what I see happening here, and I'm guilty of this myself, of leaning a little forward as you're in the pose because you're turning the head. So see if you can keep the shoulders above the hips and the belly facing the long side of the mat, and then just turn the head to look towards that right hand. Right knee wants to come forward and slightly to the right, and you're pressing the arms slightly up. So check that back arm is lifted. It's not sinking since you're looking to the right. And then we'll start to straighten the legs and we'll just straight away turn into the other side. So you can lift your right toes, spin your right toes to the long side and then turn your left foot to the back of your mat. Hands can come again to the hips as you bend into that left knee and find that spacious opening in the hips. If you're new to this, it might feel quite intense. So feel free to just bend the left knee a little and move deeper into the pose as it feels comfortable. Once you've got that position with the legs and the belly again is facing long side, reach the arms wide to the side, turn just the head to the left side and keep the shoulders relaxed, arms active. Coming back towards our breathing now. So steady breath through the nose. Seeing with every inhale if you can lift your belly up all the way up towards the top of your chest. And then straightening that left leg, turning the feet to the long side of the mat. Turn your right foot back to the front and stepping back to the front of the mat. So the next standing pose that we're going to cover is triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana. Similar setup for the warrior two, but we're focusing a bit more on flexibility rather than strength. So you can again come to the front of your mat. Take a big step back with your left foot, right foot facing forward, left foot about 10 o'clock shape, belly faces long side of the mat. Now this time, both legs are going to stay straight as you reach the arms out to the side. Turn the gaze to look at the right hand. And then you might start to first lean forward. So as you lean it forward to the right, you're lengthening the left side of your torso and then lowering the right hand down towards that right leg. It doesn't really matter where it comes. Left arm reaching up towards the ceiling. If you have quite tight hamstrings, option here to slightly bend your right knee. If it's comfortable, the leg can be straight here, and you're really keeping the crown of the head reaching to the front of the mat as you draw your hips towards the back of the mat. Can you press into the feet and really engage the thighs despite the legs being straight? So we're working on flexibility and strength. Staying for one more breath, and then draw the belly slightly more in as you come up to standing on the inhale. Turn the feet to the opposite side, so spinning on the heels, and then we come into the left side. So leaning forward with that left arm, lower the left arm down, and at the same time, lengthen all the way through your spine towards your left foot, and gaze up towards that right hand. You can just keep your left arm hovering. It works a little bit more on the strength of the pose here. If you find that too tiring, you can just rest the hand on the shin, and that will give you a little bit more rest in the obliques, the side of the body. Okay, so we're staying here for one more breath. Use the inhale to come now up to standing. Pivot the feet back to the front and stepping back to the front of your mat. So we're now going to come to Utthita Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. Great one again for flexibility and strength and finding that balance in the body. So you can be once more again at the front. You take a big step back with your left foot. We set up as if we were doing the warrior two or the triangle, belly to the long side. Hands can come first on the hips. And like we did in the warrior two pose, you can bend into your right knee. Now this is where it gets a little bit different. You can rest from here, right arm on your right thigh. Left leg stays active. And then you start to reach the left arm all the way up and overhead, coming towards the front of the mat. Can you keep engaging through that right thigh as you maybe spin your chest open to the ceiling? So we're creating space through that whole left side of the rib cage. Left shoulder starts to open here. And then you're trying to breathe steadily whilst keeping the legs active. Staying here one more breath. Use the next inhale to come all the way back up. And then turn the feet to the opposite side for the left side of the pose. So left leg starts to deeply bend. As we prepare for the side angle, you can rest the left arm on the left thigh, right arm coming forward, and then you start to spin the chest again open. So you might just play a little bit with this to find that most space for you in the side of the body. Left knee is coming forward slightly to the left. Right foot stays heavily grounded. You might gaze towards that right arm if that feels comfortable for your neck. And then use the next inhale to come up, pivot the feet back to the front, and then stepping back to the front of your mat. So we're coming into the last now of the standing poses. It's gone really quick. This is a balance pose, the tree pose, also known as Vrksasana. So we're going to balance first on the left leg and lift the right leg up. So you might have noticed there's this theme in yoga where we always start with doing something on the right leg. So that's a kind of tradition. Left leg is going to be active and long. You could spread the left toes, and you can see I'm already sort of preparing by I've lifted my right heel up. So my left ankle is having to work to balance here. The first stage of the pose is placing right foot on top of the left and allowing the knee to open to the side. So you could just start here. Even if you've practiced the pose before, this can be quite a nice way to again balance and find that strength around the ankle. You want to check that your left toes are spreading, so you can really bring the awareness here before we start to come into a more challenging balance. And if you're just happy to hang out here, absolutely fine, of course. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can slide the right foot a little up the left leg so the foot is below your right knee. Right knee starts to open a bit to the side, and you could also be balancing here. So if you're happy here again, feel free to stay here. If you want to try lifting the foot a little higher, use the help of the right hand to place the foot above the right knee. So notice I'm avoiding placing the foot on the knee joint. Hands can come together in front of the heart, whichever version you're in, absolutely fine. And you're really activating that left leg and lifting up out through the crown of the head. Staying here 2 more breaths. If you want to challenge yourself further, maybe you lift the arms up and over the head. So we just change slightly the shape of the posture. And then exhale, if the arms were lifted, lower the arms back down in front of the heart. Slowly lower that right foot down to the ground. And if you like, take a moment first to shake the legs. Changing sides. So now we'll balance on the right leg, spread the toes, activate that standing leg, and then just place your left heel, opening the left knee a little to the side. If you're happy again here, stay here. If you like, slide the foot a little up the leg. Again, avoid the knee joint. Allow your standing leg to be super active. If you want to go further and you did on the opposite side, use the help of your hand. Place the left sole of the foot on your right inner thigh, and then bring the hands together in front of the heart again. So we're keeping that firmness in the belly, lifting up from the toes all the way up to the crown of the head. If you like, you can reach again the arms up and over. So you're lifting up high through the fingertips, still keeping the breath through the nose. Staying for 1 more breath. And then slowly on the exhale, lower the hands back down if they were lifted. Step your left foot down and take a moment to shake the legs. So maybe you'd just like to join me at the end for a moment of sitting. So you can just find your way to a cross-legged position. So if you are just starting out with your yoga journey, I really recommend find the time to practice at least 2 or 3 times a week. It will really help with your progress and motivation, especially if you're wanting to become more flexible, more strong, or find the balance. More often for shorter periods of time would what I'd recommend. If you're looking for other videos, if you found this one nice, you can try out my Ashtangas for Beginners video that focuses on also a series of standing poses, but the traditional Ashtanga primary series sequence. And you could also, perhaps if you're looking for something a bit more mellow after this quite active video, you could try out one of the meditations on mindfulness that I've got. So do give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Join me in subscribing to the channel. You'll see I'm pretty new to YouTube, so I'm still trying to build my first 1,000 subscribers. And I'll see you in the next video.